from the UK, broadcasting around the world. You're listening to the Mic Drop Club, hosted by Douglas Hammondisha. Message received. You do not need to know what you need. Just engage with the podcast feed. Providing weekly insights into cool stuff we've read, saw, did, or heard about what made us say, wow, eureka, damn, nothing is off limits. If it motivates and inspires you to reach your goals, then it shall be discussed. Featuring guest interviews from high performers and people of influence, and weekly awards for the best mic drop moment. This podcast is guaranteed to leave you pumped up for the week ahead. Don't just live life. Make life boom.
Was not built on one day. Yeah. But they were concreting every day. So that's making your bed every day.
Yeah. And the feedback I've got for you is I've managed to keep up the bed.
Yeah.
The kitchen one was been difficult because I did it once, to be honest, but then I kept being distracted because I realized the time I'm in the kitchen, I'm either chasing the baby, chasing the dog, or like I said, within the basement, running in, getting the water, running out. So that's still on my...
Last conversation was a test.
Yeah. Was it?
For you. And you managed it without knowing it.
How?
Because you're natural. Did you do the pen face trick?
Do you know what? Because I'm building, I've not been in the space to like zone.
Yeah. But you already told me, focus.
Yeah.
Because making the bed is good enough for you. And that's what all about. It's been scienced by, if you get like, I'm going to change these 3 habits.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to change 2 habits or 1 habit.
Yeah.
The percentage is like the guys who chosen 3 habits during 1 year.
Yeah.
It's only 5% who manage to have that 3 habits after 1 year continuously. It's like a shock to the system, right? The guys who choose 2 habits, it's like 35% after 1 year.
Okay.
And the guys who only choose 1 habit for 1 year to adjust or change, they managed 80%.
Oh, brilliant.
So they tried so many things, like everybody talking about multitasking, but it's more... in my world, to do one thing, you make it on shorter time, it will be more consistency.
Yes.
Because when you're like, after 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, making bed, you don't even think about it. You just do it.
Yeah.
Then it's not a habit. It's in your muscle memory, in your heart memory.
Yeah.
So then you can change the next habit, the kitchen one, or the pen face mirror trick.
Yeah. And for those listeners out there, the pen face exercise was to help you deal with your confidence, help you to focus and not take yourself seriously at the same time. So I know that's always been on my agenda, and I think you're right in terms of the trying to change too many things at once and focus on one thing at a time. That's saying multitasking, we know in science and physics proves you can only really do one thing at a time. But what you're doing is multiple one things at a time. So multiple one things at a time. So so you can do those things, but you won't give each of your tasks the right focus. And I've been doing, and I want to thank you, Jonas, for the challenge, as it were, and the rationale behind the challenge of making the bed every single morning. Because not only is it something I do now, it's something that my partner expects me to do now. so
no pressure. No pressure.
Yeah. So she just looks. She just when she gets up, before traditionally she would get me up as well and then start tying up the bed and making the bed. And now it's no, she knows I'm doing it. So it's not only when you change your habits, your routine, it's not just a singular thing. People in your household also are affected by the changes you're going through as well.
Yeah, and I think what you told me last time also in my experience is like when you had made your bed, then everything is so easy the rest of the day.
It is.
And it's so much easier to choose happiness instead of like the expectation of the partner or the people around you to make it. Yeah. But for you, it's more to choose the happiness that you actually on your own made your bed, and that helped you to make a great day.
Yeah, and it has, and it certainly has. So the last week's sessions, we were talking about some of these internal drivers, and that's where it came about. These exercises and routines, and we were going to talk in this session, particularly around some of the external motivators, the external drivers as well, like in terms of exercises that we can do, and also practical steps to help us deal with the outside world influences, the outside world that comes in. Like for me, my role as a Chief Clinical Information Officer, I have a lot of responsibilities. I have a lot of external drivers. External drivers, by that I mean my job is dictated by what the government push out in terms of legislation around health. If they change the way that health needs to be recorded, health data needs to be recorded, it affects my job. Okay, so this is what we call something external that's affecting how I do my day-to-day activities. And you might have seen it, Jonas, in your coaching that you do for businesses, that an employee will have external influences within him or her own home, maintaining the marriage, look after the children, pay the bills. And then at work, which is external, there's also drivers there affecting them as well. And the balancing up on those two things.
Yeah. First of all, I was like, I was trying for a long time because I was in the labor market working as a professional employment officer in Sweden. And I noticed like my experience before I was working there, I was an employee and everybody was talking about, you woke up on the wrong side. You are like really grumpy here today at work. And everybody was blaming the work. It's so boring. But you woke up grumpy. And then it made me like thinking like, okay, can you change the attitude on that one when you wake up? Because to make the best out of you, the best performance at work or in the relationship. So that 10 first minutes of your life, if you wake up, that is the 10 most important minutes in my case and in my experience to set the attitude and make it a great day.
Yeah.
And for me, many employees says that the work make them stressful or unfocused. But I realized when I interview many people, it started from home when they wake up.
Yeah.
Bad sleep.
Yeah.
Bad relationship. A messy situation with maybe small kids and like everybody's experience when they have kids or anything that they can't control.
Yeah.
Then it affects the employee. And the same thing, I realized that many people got the problem from the work back home and then made it like from a good relation from home, it's a bad relation. So for me, is the 10 minutes when you wake up, if you wake up, the most important to set the attitude and the intention of every day. So get the focus time right away.
Sure.
And when you get better, then it's better to be prepared as a professional athlete before. You just preparing for that world championship.
Yeah.
So when you come to that habit, that you actually set the intention every morning, then you go back the night before to prepare. And that could be everything, like choosing the clothes I am going to wear tomorrow. I did it with my kids. It worked, but I started with myself. But when you got kids, then I didn't realize by myself that I was a little bit stressed out of the thing they were doing. So when I'm monitoring myself, I got stressed in the morning routine with my kids, chasing to the school and feeding them and get them dressed. And then I actually ask them same question. What if we choose clothes the night before? Then we don't need it tomorrow morning. What makes it different for you? And it made a difference for them and for me. So we continue. So that's what my experience is, like the external that you can control. It gets back to me. Yeah. Start with what you can control, the inner thing. Cool. And then the external, you need to find your way to make it simple. Yeah. As simple as it can get. It's like if you put a goal to run every morning, then you should have your running shoes and running clothes just next to the bed, not in your wardrobe. Yeah. Because then it's making more difficult. So as simple as it can get.
Brilliant.
That's the most external thing I reckon.
Yeah. But so in terms of work-wise, so you've done all your preparation. You're as prepared as you can be anyway. But then, as you said, work also has stresses. How do you stop? Or should I say, is there anything employers can do to create an environment whereby their staff, because staff well-being is a big issue at the moment, maintaining the health and welfare of staff, employees, but employers don't seem, in general, to acknowledge that their employees can be stressed or create the environment to de-stress their employees before they go back home. So you can start the day prepared, and then when you get to work, these external stresses, how can we stop bringing some of those things back into our house?
For me, I personally tried to take the 10 minutes when I wake up, but actually then I introduced 10 minutes when I came to the work, just to reset myself. Like I told you before, like I'm bowing when I go on the mat. For me, when I was entering the door to my office, it's also like bowing to get focused, to set my attitude on to be there. And the same thing, the routine I made up was like when I finished my job, I also took 10 minutes to reset when I'm leaving the office to start my homecoming. So for me, it became like time on every situation where, that's my normal routine. But then you need to have the second routine that is adjustable, because it's not always possible to do the routines to end the job and then you're rushing home. But maybe always you have the second one instead of 10 minutes. Like I told you, it's better to have 1 minute rescue.
You call it the rescue.
So, yeah, I call it the rescue because it's more like, okay, a rescue for me is more like, okay, it's an accident. Then you need to be rescued.
Yeah.
You didn't do it on purpose. So for me, it's more a rescued method or technique that I have maybe 1 or 2 minutes to reset myself. Maybe I had a shitty day on work. It's not going to affect my homecoming relationship or that environment.
Sure.
Because that's the work moment. So I always had like that backup rescue plan. But for most of the time, the days goes by as normal.
Sure.
But you can have that routine, 5 minutes, 10 minutes before, after. And it's the same in training. You warm up before the actual training. And then you have a focus time. And then you have warm down. I don't know.
That's something I do badly. The warm down.
Yeah.
I've never really warmed down.
Yeah. And there is a lot of parts. It's warm down in the mind.
Yeah.
But it's also the physical thing. So that's what I've been experiment with myself, with my colleague that I've been working during my long time as an employee or like that. And nowadays I'm just training people on that one.
Yeah, sure.
To
because
find them own cocktail to how should it be mixed.
Exactly.
Normally.
Exactly.
But I give them the rescue drink cocktail also.
That's what I was going to touch base on, the rescue cocktail, because when we spoke last time, one of the themes I was picking up from you is when you have a meeting, you want to make sure the meeting is focused, and you're always trying to constrict the time, reduce the time. So when you talk about now the rescue technique, does that then become like the default, the go-to one, because of the fact that it's maybe you have more heightened attention within the 1 to 2 minutes than you might have over the 10, because you're constantly shaving time to be more efficient and more productive. So I'm just saying, would the rescue technique be your go-to now, whereby for me, I'm still back in the 10 minutes?
No. I keep continuous with my 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in terms of what's missing out of is anything missing out of the rescue?
No, actually not. It's more like you don't do that much. I mean, for me, it's like I told before, it's like mind resetting.
Yeah.
But it's also the physical resetting, like maybe you're tense in your muscle, so you need to relax them. So instead of doing that in 10 minutes, you only do the same part, like mind, body, and the social thing. So that's free, like mind, body, heart.
Okay.
And then in rescue mode, it's more like, okay, you make it shorter, but you're still doing that free part.
I like that a lot. I like the rescue.
So you are rescued that day or that moment. It takes only 1 minute, and the most time you got 1 minute in worst case scenario. Yeah. But it also that I know if I did a rescue, I'm very, very focused and dedicated and disciplined to make that 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes to reset myself, because the rescued will affect me. If I do rescued for 1 week, I need really to make it maybe 1 hour of routine.
Okay.
So I'm filling it up again.
Yeah, sure. So you cannot escape from the fact that you need to focus for your 10 minutes. However, you can do the 20.
Because I found my cocktail.
Yeah, you found your cocktail. Interesting. Interesting. Because in the busy obviously pre-coronavirus, this work attitude, philosophy, everything you have no time. Everyone's rushing around, rat race, running to work, nobody has time, or nobody perceives or thinks that they have time when they do have time. So the rescue thing would be like, this is why again fast food sells so much, because people perceive they don't have time. So I can imagine a lot of people go, a rescue technique. Good. I only have 1 minute. I'm going to use that. But what you're saying is you still need to bank, as it were, the 10 minutes become 20 minutes, because you still need that real dedicated, focused time to reset yourself.
Yeah. So it's all about for maybe banking or whatever, what you put in, it comes out.
Yeah.
What comes out, you need to put in.
Yeah.
So for me, it's that mind setting. So sometimes when I had really, really load of work, so it comes out so many, then I know that I need to have that rescued opposite. Like I need to invest 1 hour to reset myself.
Yes.
So I maybe, instead of 10 minutes before I going home, I take 1 hour before I going home, because of the infection of my during the day. So that's what I do, everything, because I put in a reflection time in my 10 minutes daily routine.
Okay.
And that reflection makes me, okay, I'm getting better on that. So I can feel my body. I know my body now. I know my mind. But you need actually to put in more time in yourself now, because so many stimulated you from the outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the outside drive that we were talking about.
Yeah. And I think the way you're approaching it is still bringing it back to the individual's responsibility, opposed to the external parameters that could be affecting them, because ultimately you, through preparation, that sets you up for any external challenges you might have for the day. And even in work, your manager, your boss, they too should be resetting themselves. They too should be waking up with intention and focus for the day as well. And I think sometimes this is why I think your training really, really does suit a whole raft of people, from senior executives who set the tone, who set the pressures on the lower employees, to middle management, and other staff members, all the way down. I think because we cannot run away from the fact that if your boss has a really bad day, they tend to take it out on the employee.
Yeah.
And you also spoke about resilience. These techniques will help you become a lot more resilient. I was going to just say very quickly, we're having my basement before we start recording this, and I recorded it straight. Before we started this recording, I'm doing the basement, and the house I'm living in is over 200 years old. So it was built on the foundations. So we're doing a basement conversion. So technically speaking, we have to dig out from the foundation down as much as we can so that we can build a basement down there. Now, as Jonas was saying, what you put in, you had to take out. And the house I'm in had no basement and it just was built on top of the foundation. So the foundations it's like mud. It's the hardest thing to try and shovel out. It's not because like the bricks, because of years of damp, I like molded into one. So even when you're shoveling, you realize that this is really rough. This is rubbish stuff. And I can't believe my house has been sitting on this for over 200 years. But it has to come out. It was there before. It has to come out. And I'm going through the pain right now, Jonas. My fingers are shaking because of the vibration when you shovel. It goes, getting it out. Yeah. But to reinforce your message, what we're putting in now, we've underpinned the sides, and what we're putting in there now is hardened concrete, waterproof membrane, all the stuff to make the foundations extremely strong. So we've taken out the rubbish and put in there something, compounds to make it water resilient, stronger. And this I think this is a practical example what you're talking about there when you talk about yourself. You have to have your foundations right yourself so that you are resilient. This house now should be able to sit and stand for another 200-300 years at least, and we'll have a basement.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm so happy to hear.
Yeah, it's hard though.
Yeah, I know. But just like you told me, like I have one story about one of my childhood friend. He's a CEO, and the employee wanted to start a circle of group who wants to have a diet, Weight Watchers in Sweden. And they asked him, shouldn't you join? And he was like, no, I'm not fat, or I don't need it. I'm a CEO like that. And then he told me that story, and I told him, yeah, but you know who I am and what I look at on that one. I actually recommend you to join the group because of what you said. If you don't know what the others going through, you will not be that leader that leads your group because you're thinking on your own. They are the group. So then he came to that the conclusion, like, yeah, of course I should join. And then the outcome, it was like he got more back than he invested. So
sure.
So that's the thing that I experienced also. Like a lot of CEO that I talked to, the bosses, they decided to buy our like program or training for their employee, but they left themselves outside, And then I said, no, it's not in our training concept. You need to be, if you're a leader, you need to be with the team.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, everybody understand it because they can see the development personally, but also the teams.
Yes.
Because we had groups that the team leader is out and he just or she just order the training for the employee or the members. But we know the result then. And we have known it historically backwards many years, but it's always the same result. The employee is energized and high performance, but the leader, it depending on him or her, what the attitude is there. So we are confident that we need to be more leveled out.
Yeah, you need that level field. And there's something about influence as well. When leaders take on tasks or do things, they do have influence. And it's very important that they do embrace these things because their staff will see them doing it and they'll be more inclined to take it seriously as well because, look, our boss is doing it as well. And that's what good, effective leaders are. Leaders should be prepared to do everything they ask their staff to do themselves. They should be fully 100% committed to say, I'm going to say, recommend you do this. I'm going to advise you to do this, or I'm going to instruct you to do this, but I'm fully capable of doing it myself. And I would do it myself given the time. So I know I'm fully for that. I had a conversation yesterday with Smith Thoreau. She does coaching. She does unconscious bias training as well, and artificial intelligence. And she was talking about the power of storytelling, and that allowing people, particularly if you're in a position of leadership, to tell your story, because that way you can connect to everybody. They'll understand you. But sometimes managers say the staff are over there and I'm over here. There's that separation. And when you separate yourself from your business, from your staff, you actually the results are underwhelming in terms of your potential revenue growth, your understanding of what your staff are going through, and all those things. I think storytelling is so vital in that space as well. You know, what do you tell yourself in your head, your internal narrative, and then also what do you decide to share outwards as well? Because you spoke about reflection. So how far do you reflect when you're going through your 10 minutes?
I'm reflecting as much as I need at that time. So it's for me, I'm coming so long in my reflection, and I've been training that for so long time. So for me, it's like, it comes to me faster than untrained.
Sure.
If I say like that. So it's more like I can know before, like I finish a task or something, I know how much reflection I need.
Okay.
Not in particular, maybe like how many minutes or for how long time, but it's also when I reflect, I know that, okay, that reflection is like good enough or it's enough.
Yeah.
And it comes to like easy thing. For example, if something happened during the day that I can't control, then it's teaching me how to let it go. Does that sound?
Yeah, it sounds good. Yeah. You know what I was going to do?
So what's happening that you can't control during the day, it's teaching you to let it go.
You are so much more. MicDropClub.com. Make life boom.
For me.
Yeah, you need to explain
sometimes
that.
It takes longer to reflect how to let it go, why should I let it go, and so on.
Yeah.
But nowadays, many things comes up again. It's the same things that comes up again. Then I let it go.
Yeah. So that is the cyclical behavior traits, isn't it, that we have? We tend to always have the same challenges. We have our unique characteristics that give rise to a unique set of challenges that we always face. Until we reflect and change our outlook on that thing, it's always going to be that as an issue. Like some people could have an issue with, say timing. Some issues. Some people are very focused on cleanliness, timing, all that. So wherever they go out and interact with other people, they're consciously aware and have a heightened sense of awareness to cleanliness. You know, so their issue is always going to be reflecting, was the table clean enough? Was the cups clean enough? Was the door handles clean enough? Because their unique set, until they reflect back and say, is it rational or is it, am I taking it to the extreme? Is there anything I can do? That is always going to be their challenge, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, for example, when I go traveling with my family, my wife is starting like, is that toilet clean enough?
Yeah.
Compared to the toilet we have at home in Sweden.
Yeah.
If, for example, when we go to Thailand, when you have a hole in your ground, is she asking herself, like in subconscious, like, is that clean enough?
Yeah.
And then it's like, compared to what we have at home. And then I told her, like, why do you even compare? It doesn't make sense for me.
Yeah.
And then she's like, no, of course. So she's like, she could continue on that one. And I said, then I wouldn't be married to you and still together with after like 20 years if you continue to think on that way, because we love to travel. And if you're going to stop yourself by thoughts, it's not going to develop our relationship or traveling or enjoyment on that one. So I think, as you expressed, it's like you need to reevaluate more often. Be critical to yourself, your thoughts that you has often, the same thing, because we know in science also like 90-95% is the same thing of the thoughts that you had yesterday.
Wow.
Because that's why the autopilot, the most people grown up goes on autopilot.
Okay, guys, everybody ready?
Atomic mic drop.
I was itching to get one of those out the way. Yeah, that is fantastic. That you need to explain that a lot more. The link between the autopilot and the thoughts that you have of the day. Go ahead.
Yeah. The autopilot. I mean, ask yourself, how much do you do new things every day, every hour, every minute? Not much.
Not much, no.
No. So that is telling you that most of your days goes by autopilot.
Yeah.
So that's why people acting on fear when it's not going on autopilot. It's the basic of how the brain developed and was born like 40,000 years ago. It's still
the same.
It's only like fight or flight.
Yeah, that's all it is, isn't it?
Yeah, but you need to reevaluate to work on the unconsciousness, subconsciousness.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the difference. Like if you go 95% on autopilot during every day, day out, day in, but if you change and working with 1% on the subconsciousness to reevaluate, it means if you do 1% every day, it's 37% after 1 year.
Sure.
So for example, take your making your bed now for 1 year. Then you increased 37%.
Do you know what's happening, Jonas, regarding making the bed that I'm going to share live on air? I'm now aware of what types of duvet I have, the thickness of the duvet. I'm aware what my partner likes in terms of the duvet. I understand the process of making the bed. I respect different sheets. You've opened up a whole new world that I didn't know existed. As far as I was concerned prior, there's sheets, there are pillows, and there are duvets. Now I know there are sheets, pillows, pillow covers, different types of pillows, duvet, different thicknesses, different duvet covers, and there's a throw that you put on the bed to make it beautiful. And depending on how you dress the bed, it has to be keeping with the deco. So, no, I just wanted to put that in there in terms of letting you know that this new habit also increases your knowledge.
Everything is blooming from that basic thing.
Yeah. Making
your bed. Exactly what you're telling me. It's the thing that I'm teaching, for example, the hotel staff. If you know making the bed and get the insight that you just told me, then it's going to blow up the whole experience from the guest.
Yeah.
Because like many stories that I heard, it's like when you know, it's like the builders who built Rome, they didn't know the huge picture, what it should finish like.
Yeah.
But when the people told them, they understood why I put every brick, every day, concrete, so on, because it's going to be this huge, beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And the same thing is when you go back. I was in a company in a warehouse, but the employee didn't do any good quality on the operation gloves.
Mm.
And then I told the boss in that company, okay, could we let the employee go on a visit on an operation that they can see what the gloves is using for, and that protect the patient and the doctor and everything. And then they understood how their job was the most important, that the gloves is really good in quality. So every package was really taken care of, because they know the end of who's going to use it, and they are actually saving lives. So that's what I mean. You need to look at the bigger picture. Like you said, making the bed, the first time I introduced that for you, it was like, hey, it's not hard.
So why did you tell me to do that?
Maybe it's hard because you're just stumbling. But anyway, the result is, or the effect is like you explained for me. That's what I want to reach on every client I work with, to get the insight of the bigger picture. Of the small exercise I do it with a purpose, because I know the ending will be bigger.
Yeah, the bigger picture.
But it's all up to you, because you are very easily trained. I can tell, because like you said now, after, what is it, 11 days?
Yeah. No, it's more. I think it's more than 7. I think maybe 14.
14 days. Okay, 14 days. You got this all insights about the material and what it's happening with your partner, how it affects everybody. But it all starts from you. Like, you do it because you want to make a great start on your day, because then you are unbeatable. And then you get all the good effects on everybody else around you.
1000%.
And exactly. So I'm actually feeling a tear coming out when it's like.
Do you know what? Like I said, before we'd done that exercise, I was literally, the best way to describe it was I was seeing in black and white. The whole bed is black and white. Now I've got 4K when it comes to high definition bed. I'll critique beds. In fact, I'm critiquing mattresses as well, because why am I easy to train in regards to personal development? Because I've realized over time that, when I'm focused, when I am focused, I do feel unbeatable. And it's not to say I want to go outside and do something earth shattering and humongous, but I think when I'm at my best, I can help more people. I feel so much better. I'm more resilient to the issues that I'm going through, because I will do work in a very stressful environment. When you get to a certain level in your profession, there's a lot of stress that comes with that. And any techniques, particularly these ones that you're teaching that are free, the only price you pay is your own physicality, your own time. But you don't have to take a supplement to make your own bed. You don't have to wait for the Amazon delivery or go to the chemist to go and do before you can start. These are practical things you can do straight away. Working with what you have, to build resilience for the day. So I'm always up for that. I'm like this, and I'm thinking, okay, fine. What's the outcome
now
going to be?
I'm going to change the picture. Because do you hear me still?
Yeah, I hear perfectly.
Okay. Because like I said, I'm not really good in English, but I understand in English, and it took my breath away when you can formulate like this. It goes like, Sorry, I had it here. Here it is. Develop the right attitude towards your job, and even the most mundane work becomes a source of joy.
Yes. And where's the source?
It's true about what you told me, but in another words, huh?
Yeah. I think so. And it's not. I think it goes back to what you were saying in terms of building Rome. They laid concrete down brick by brick every day. It wasn't built in one day, but they were laying things down every single day. So if you're a builder and your view is to just putting cement bricks down, just cement, it's just brick, who cares? Just cement, it's just brick, who cares? Yeah. You're not paying attention to the process, and I think the whole thing about mundane is to mean average. I've learned now to appreciate the bed is not a mundane thing. Making the bed is not mundane. It's not a mundane activity. In fact, no activity that you do when you're awake is mundane, because when you've looked after people that are dying and they've taken their last breath, they'll bite your hand off. They give you all the wealth just to have the opportunity to make the bed, just to say they're bored. There's nothing mundane. It's just our perception of it. And I think going back to what you were saying in terms of how all this fits into the bigger picture. If you can see the bigger picture, if you can just see the bigger picture, nothing is mundane. Everything has value. Everything will move you closer to that bigger picture or further away from that bigger picture. And helping people bridge that gap, the implementation is what I'm coming to understand is what you do with the Mindkicker approach, and is exposing that out to the world, which is why we're having these conversations.
Yeah. Now, exactly what you said, because when I read that meaning, then it's like I was thinking back on one of my summer job that my boss told me, you're gonna unpack this 1,000 cartons with liquor bottles.
Yeah.
And I was into the martial arts on that during that time, just in the beginning. But Bruce Lee was one of my heroes.
Yeah.
During that time, and I just changed. Before, the first thought was like, "Oh, what's boring?" But then I got into like, "Hey, I could be Bruce Lee when I'm unpacking these cartons." And my colleague, they saw me doing like chops of the cartons, training my punches and kicking.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, "What are you doing?" Yeah, on a playful thing, I was like accelerate my knowledge about to develop my playfulness, but with the serious back on my mind.
Yeah, I think that is because you're, what's the word? I heard it yesterday. The expression was you're creatively courageous. It takes courage, because you are being used as a human robot on a conveyor belt to do this task, right?
Yeah.
You had to use courage to change your approach to doing it. Yeah, you change your approach. So it takes courage to do something different when to your left or to the right people are doing things in a very mechanical way. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're changing up. Yeah. So your creativity came out. But you had to be, without the courage, you might have had it in your head, and continue to do this and lost the opportunity to do maybe 10,000 perfect kicks, punches, 10,000 perfect stances, because it's an opportunity. And I think a lot of us, we might be creative in our minds, but always think that we need to have the perfect equipment, the perfect environment for us to execute. But you demonstrated that how flexible you are. Look, I'm doing this, menial task. However, I can.
No, I think that's my gift. Is like, I bring it out from my thoughts to do it. And I know I met so many people during these days that have a knowledge, but they don't do, because of they got the walls of insecurity or whatever, what people might think about them or whatever, because of the self-confidence and like that we talked about before. So then I saw like I got really good at punching and kicking, and I actually got paid for it. So it was a really good summer job for me.
Win-win.
So it was win-win-win, because so many wins in that one hit.
Brilliant.
So,
brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I just want to say before we wrap up on this one, the next session, there's a theme I'm seeing emerging here in terms of the mind of the potential listener, the listeners out there who are taking take these messages, these lessons, and want to apply it. Is about self-confidence. You know, I'll be keen for us to unpack this whole confidence thing, because, you know, when you talked about subconscious or conscious reflection, if we reflect back or don't know how to reflect back in a way that is objective, neutral, we will just continually reflect back in a very biased way. That is always that person's problem and never grow and never learn. Yes, I've done my reflection. I was there thinking for 10 minutes, this person's a bastard. This person's a bastard. This person's a bastard. Yes, the person's a bastard. And you don't grow. If we can share some insights on how we can reflect back in a way that is more objective and allows for growth in a safe way, without destroying the individual.
Of course. Yeah, it sounds great idea. I will bring it next time. Yeah,
next Thursday. So what we're doing, just for you, for listeners out there, is we've got these shows back to back, and they're going to be released in a series now. So this is our third one actually we've done, isn't it, Jonas? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is our third one. So
I don't actually count, because I know that we're gonna continuously just keep going.
The reason why we didn't push them out, I'm gonna edit this anyway. I'm gonna edit this properly, the show. It was because what we want to do is tee them all up. So like now, if we know it's a Thursday session, we now got 3 Thursdays in a row. Yeah, we've got 3 Thursdays in a row. So on Thursdays, so we could call it whatever this show, Thursday. Jonas Hour for Thursday, every Thursday. So people know every Thursday on the Mic Drop Club, that's when they access these shows. So we've got 3 in the bag. I always like to know that we've got 3 already recorded, so I can time them so to ultimately go out. So we've got our 3 now. So that's good. So between now and next Thursday, I'm going to edit all 3, and then we start drip feeding them every Thursday.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, you guys take care. Thanks a lot, Jonas. Good luck. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to check out micdropclub.com and get the show notes and useful links. Subscribe to the podcast. Don't just live life. Make life boom.